Mercury really makes it nice to drain the oil. They put this drain right here. So what we need to do is just get this loose, and then we're going to put this hose on there, and then we'll go ahead and turn it open more. The key is you don't want to go past 2.5 turns total, because then it'll pull this out, and you don't want that to happen. So make sure you don't go more than 2.5 turns. So the first thing we're going to do is get it loose, and we're going to use a 5/8 inch socket for this. So we'll get that on there, and we'll go ahead and get it loose. We got it started. Now we're going to go ahead and put our hose on there. Feed that on the end of this, and just take your time. Make sure it's up on there all the way to the nut. And then what we're going to do is just turn that. And like I said, make sure you don't go more than 2.5. And what's going to happen is the oil will start draining out of it. We'll let that run into our pan and go ahead and drain out of the motor. Alright guys, you can see that the oil stopped draining. So we're going to go ahead and turn this clockwise. And that'll just make sure that the oil stops draining out. Okay, I got that hand tight. Now we're going to go ahead and pull our hose off because we're going to need that for the next step. Alright, we'll set that aside. Put that on our cardboard. And then we'll take our 5/8 socket and we'll snug this back up. Now you don't have to be a grill on this because the suction will, just like a filter, it'll tighten up. So I just got that, just kind of, it stops, and it's got a very positive stop. So once you get there, you're done. So this, we're done. Now we're going to go up and move to the filter. The next thing we're going to do is put the new filter on. And Mercury does it again, they do a nice job. So this yellow plug right here, you're just going to pull that out. And then the same hose that we used down here to drain the oil, we're going to go ahead and slide that on that, right on there. So again, be careful so you don't, just take your time. And we're going to get that on there. Now the oil's not going to come gushing out of here, but Mercury thinks of everything. There's going to be some oil in this filter, so instead of going all over in your crankcase and stuff, it's going to go in this little tray right here and drain out this hose. So now we're going to go ahead and get the filter off. We got our filter loose, so we're going to go ahead and spin that off. And we'll be kind of quick with this. Once we get it off, we'll get it tilted up and out. I always hold that hose down. It's not, like I said, it's not like a ton of oil is going to gush out of here, but it's really nice that they did this. So we'll just hold this. You can see really no oil at all came out. I don't even think we have just a little in there. So we'll grab our towels, we'll get that cleaned up. We'll take this hose and put our plug back on, and we'll get this all cleaned up. Guys, we're just going to clean this up around the filter seat and get the oil off of that. And then we'll get whatever oil we got in this little catch, we'll get that out of there. So we've got that cleaned up nice, and now we'll get our filter ready. So we'll take our new filter, take it out. We'll just do a visual check to make sure they sent us the right one. So this is that's the right part number for this engine. And then what I like to do is take a little bit of oil and put it on this rubber seal before I screw it on. And I'll just use some of the oil out of one of the quarts that they gave us. And then we'll get that screwed on. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and put this on. Now you want to be careful that you don't cross thread it, so just take your time. And it should, once you get it started like that, you should be able to go like that, and it should spin freely. That way you know it's not cross threaded. We're going to get it snug. And then we'll take our filter wrench and we'll just give that about a 1/4 turn, and that's good. You don't want to put this on there real tight either. Engine creates vacuum and it'll tighten that up on there so it even gets harder. Some people say you can just do it hand tight plus a 1/4 turn, or even just hand tight. I like to do a hand tight and then about a 1/4 turn just to snug it up. Alright, so we'll get that done and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright guys, now we're going to put our fresh oil in, and the filler is right up front. Nice bright oil cap so you can't miss it. So we'll go ahead and get that off. And we'll set that aside. Here's a real quick tip, don't put it on your carpet. Okay, we're going to put our funnel in, and just so you guys know, before you comment, the inside of the funnel is clean. Much cleaner than the outside. So we'll go ahead and put those in. I'm going to put the 1 quart in right now. Because I use that to put a little oil around the filter. So we'll go ahead and get that one in first. The motor takes a little bit over 6 quarts, about 6.2. Alright, we'll go ahead and get our oil in up until the last quart, and then I'll show you how we get that 0.2 or 0.3. Okay? We've got 6 quarts put in there, and now we need to do the 0.3. So this bottle is 32 ounces. So what we're going to do is we're going to put about 10 ounces in, and there's a window on the side. So we're going to run that down until we get about halfway in between the 24 and 20. That'll be about 32 ounces, and that'll be our 0.3. We'll take our funnel out, and we'll go ahead and get our cap back on. If it goes on hard, it's going on wrong. And then just take a shop towel with your motor in the vertical position. And then you want to come to the side, guys. Take your dipstick and pull that out. It's in there pretty tight. Pull that out and just double check. Wipe it off. Go ahead and stick it back down. Pull it out and just double check and make sure you're where you need to be. And we're good to go. So I'm going to wipe that off down there because I got a little oil on here off the dipstick. And we'll make sure we get that in. Make sure your dipstick is seated all the way down. It's not the easiest thing to get in there, so it goes in pretty tight. Just make sure it's all the way in. And that's it, guys. Oil's changed. Alright guys, we got the grease changed in our lower unit. We got fresh oil, fresh filter, ready to go for the season. Unfortunately, we're running out of daylight, so we're going to have to do the low pressure fuel filter on another video. So if you like this one, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.